is not as much fun as it sounds.
Obviously a major story. We'll have some expert analysis for this next in Weather Center after your local on the 8s.
This program was brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Okay, see how the shred side of the rails wore more than the other side?
Felt like a million, felt like number one. Like a
What are you handing down to your kids? Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Dum da da dum. Dum da 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 dum. Ba da 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 dum. Dum da da dum. Da da dum.
Rich, delicious V8 vegetable juice has a full serving of vegetables. Because sometimes what you eat doesn't. D8. Drink smarter.
Visit www.camelkitchen.com for delicious meal ideas the whole family will love.
The new Silverado is here, now with quadra-steer four-wheel steering. It's the most maneuverable full-size pickup you can get. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
Mom, did you add more vegetables to my Campbell's vegetable soup?
Nope.
More letters?
Guess again.
More beef.
Someone did.
Campbell's did. All our vegetable soups are better than ever. There's vegetable beef with 20% more beef, vegetable with more letters, and more vegetables in all 10 of our delicious soups. Rediscover soups you thought you knew. Campbell's Vegetable Soups.
Weeknights at 8 Eastern and Pacific.
When I heard that sound, I thought we were in big trouble.
A new series.
We got people trapped underneath the roof.
Storm stories. Only on the Weather Channel. Brace yourself.
We're currently operating in alert mode here at the Weather Channel this evening, thanks or maybe no thanks to a major snowstorm that's pounding the entire megalopolis. Here's a look at Washington, D.C. from earlier today, but it still looks the same way with a lot more of the snow still piling up on us here.
And the President's Day storm is dumping snow across the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. It's also hitting the Carolinas and parts of the South. With ice and a wintry mix, we'll let you know how long you can expect this storm to last. Hello and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Terry Smith.
And I'm Paul Emick. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll continue to bring you the absolute latest on this major President's Day storm. This is one for the record books. and the snowfall has already shut down much of Washington, D.C. For that story, we're joined now by WRC-TV meteorologist Chicago Windler. And Chicago, you've been following the storm all day. What's the latest on the situation there right now?
Well, Paul, right now we are under a state of emergency in the district as well as Virginia, and it's very difficult to get around unless you've got a four-wheel drive vehicle, so everyone is recommending not to go anywhere, just to hunker down and wait this one out. 12.4 inches of snow so far at Reagan National. That's as of 8 o'clock. Some of the highest totals, Paul, 24 inches reported at Braddock Heights, Maryland. That's in Frederick County, only about an hour and a half away from Washington, D.C. By the way, this is comparable to the 1996 blizzard where Reagan National picked up 17.1 inches of snow. That was in the top 5 storms in history here, and we could be headed for that the way things are going, because the storm began at 1 o'clock this morning. It continues with lots of snow, lots of moisture, and it doesn't look like it's going to let up until sometime tomorrow evening. Back to you, Paul.
Chicago, this is Terry Smith, and I just want to ask you, based on what you've heard there at the station, how are conditions for driving around the area? I mean, I know they're bad, but you tell me, as someone who lives there, what are they like?
Well, to let you know, the Washington Beltway is the way most people get around. I was on it earlier today going about 25 miles per hour, and that was even following a safe distance behind some snow plows. If the areas are not plowed, which most of the subdivisions are not, there are huge drifts. It's just not safe to get around. We've seen numerous people that have been spinning their wheels because they don't have four-wheel drive. Best advice, Terry, is just to stay at home and wait this one out. Most areas are going to be closed even for tomorrow, hoping to get up to normal by Tuesday. By the way, also the airports today have been closed. Reagan National and BWI both closed. Dulles had only a few operations, a few international flights that they kept going, but otherwise it's been very, very difficult across the Washington area. Terry?
Okay, thanks very much for that report, Chicago. That's Chicago Windler up in the D.C. area on that report. And our winter weather expert, Paul Kosin, joins us now. And Paul, the big question is, why has this lasted, it seems like, all weekend long, and it's affecting so many people?
Very slow-moving storm system, not the classic rapidly developing, rapid-moving storm system that dumps snow over a period of 12 to 18 hours. This is one of those rare events like February 1983 that's sort of strung along, a big high-pressure system, very cold air, but not a very strong upper-level disturbance. Just a series of upper-level disturbances coming through. It just prolongs the snowfall, and that's exactly what's occurring now in the Washington area, all the way up to Baltimore. Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, all of you received now a foot or more of snow, up to 2 feet in some of the suburbs. So look for totals in those cities, generally 16 to 24 inches, up to 30 inches in some of the outside regions. We're seeing some sleet mixing in with the snow, but there's still more snow to come tonight. Probably a lot of it will compact tonight with the stronger winds, blowing and drifting snow. So I think the 16 to 24 is looking pretty good. If we get bursts of heavy snow, there could be some regions that experience even greater than 30 inches, but we'll have to wait and see. Tremendous plume of moisture still coming in from the tropics. Our secondary low is developing. Because of that, they've issued some blizzard warnings now from Delaware to southern New Jersey, where along the immediate coastline the winds will be quite strong, but we're still seeing the storm system just moving slowly, developing slowly overnight, and that will mean more snow, more sleet. Very difficult night of driving. Anybody trying to drive in this corridor up from North Carolina to Virginia. But the snow is excessive in this area and will be moving up towards the northeast across New York City overnight into southern New England by morning. So we're expecting through Monday late in the day, boy, I've got to change that title here, up to a foot of snow possible by late in the day from New York City up through extreme southern New England, and somewhere in this area, that's where we're looking for the heaviest accumulations from northern Virginia to Pennsylvania. The darker greens and the radar here just represent more significant snow, a couple of strong bands coming into the New York area. Look for your snow to start rapidly accumulating within the next couple of hours and then moving off to the northeast. We've seen some breaks south of the Washington area, but look how they fill in over the last several hours. It just wants to snow from Washington and Baltimore up towards Philadelphia. And if we look more closely at the Philadelphia radar, just some steady snow. Looks like a more heavier band now coming into southern New Jersey. There might be some sleet with that, but most of this just periods of heavy snow continuing across the New York City metropolitan area. Look for 6 to 12 inches of snow there by morning, more accumulation during the day, and then we'll be moving it up towards Boston during the day.
Paul, let me ask you about those blizzard warnings that were just recently issued for parts of New Jersey and Delaware and Maryland, specifically in those areas. What are we going to see there?
Well, their winds are going to be averaging generally between 20 and 30 miles per hour, with gusts possibly over 40. Just seen an ob of 40 miles per hour at Ocean City. So blowing and drifting snow will really reduce the visibilities, make those conditions rather life-threatening. That's why the blizzard warnings.
How long do you expect that to last?
That's going to be overnight into morning. We'll see some of those strong winds move up the Jersey Shore, come up across Long Island, and then across extreme southern New England as well. So there may have to be blizzard warnings there as well.
Okay, thank you so much for that report. That's our winter weather expert, Paul Cosin. Now our current weather expert, Paul Emick, will let us know what's happening around the rest of the country. Paul.
All right, across the southern U.S., some wintry weather continues in toward Raleigh-Durham. Now, you're not expecting to see the snow add up, say, like toward D.C., but it's messy enough. A lot of sleet mixed in, little rain and snow, and again, many problems may persist toward Raleigh-Durham. We've seen some freezing rain off and on in toward Charlotte, and some snowfall now toward Hickory. Parts of western North Carolina, say toward Asheville, could be slippery for quite some time. Even the Greenville-Spartanburg area might run into some travel woes as well. Rainfall for the Outer Banks, but again, Raleigh-Durham, a real rough spot to be in right now. Some icing in toward Lexington, even on toward Nicholasville, even at times around the state capitol. Little lingering light rainfall that may be causing driving hassles, some freezing concern on Bowman Field International Airport there too toward Louisville. Both airports reporting freezing rain intermittently, and some snow in toward Owensboro, Henderson, even Evansville, then northward, of course, snow toward Indy. Southern U.S. staying quite soggy as well. Now, parts of North Georgia, again, the freezing concerns also into South Carolina, as we showed you a moment ago. A little quieter. And some wet weather toward Atlanta. An occasional round of freezing drizzle toward Athens, Georgia, but most of that is pushed on to staying quite soggy and potentially stormy. Parts of Florida especially. Rainfall now to Jacksonville and Gainesville, but not out of the question. Might pick up a stray storm or two, say toward Orlando or Daytona Beach. Even wet toward Tampa and Sarasota right now. Here's a look at the forecast going into our Monday. A little snowfall continues. Might see some additional icing into parts of Virginia. So you have travel.
And a moderate regime takes